me address this Whitney Cummings fucking Amy Schumer thing, because Amy Schumer put out a tweet yesterday.
Oh, is that the comic who got famous for getting fingered in a cab?
Yeah. So they both put out Whitney Cummings, I guess, put it out yesterday, and then I read something from Amy Schumer last night. They're both similar, said the same thing. Let me read the Amy Schumer one. I got them both. Hey, this is Amy Schumer. Hey, crazy time, right? A lot going on. I just wanted to take a second to say how brave the women coming forward are about the mistreatment they've experienced at the hands of comedians or in other professions, especially the ones who weren't of legal age to consent. There are great men out there, and there are men who humiliate and abuse women and girls because of a power dynamic, or because when they're that age, they wouldn't talk to them. Basically, she's trying to psychoanalyze why guys try to fuck 15-year-olds. Because to get even, when I was 15, they wouldn't fuck me. Whatever your reasoning is, we are watching you, and we are all together now, and we won't accept this behavior whether you break the law or not. I'm here to talk. If anyone needs any support, reach out, and I'll try to help as best I can. My number is posted in my bio. In solidarity, Amy.
That number's fake, dude. It's like a fucking, that whole number thing.
No, I know.
Kreischer does it. It's a fake number.
It's like a text app or something.
Chris Rock has one too. It's taken me, this is Whitney Cummings, it's taken me a couple of days to process the information I've learned about Chris. I'm devastated and enraged by what I've read and learned. This is a pattern of predatory behavior. This abuse of power. This abuse of power is enabled by silence. Now that I'm aware, I won't be silent. Girls should be able to be a fan of a comedian they admire without becoming a sexual target. It's the adult's responsibility to be an adult. Okay, so my point is, they were both on. I don't know how many roasts Whitney Cummings did or Amy Schumer, but I know they both were on they were both on at least one.
And they got famous from the roast. Roast.
So Jeff Ross is basically being accused by this woman who she existed, because I looked it up. I asked people that worked there. I asked Louis Schaefer, who she mentioned in the story she told. She didn't say my name, but everybody knows who it was. I asked Louis Schaefer, I go, you remember her? He goes,
so
yeah,
you did research.
He goes, I remember her hanging around because, and I was thinking like, oh shit, I think I remember her too, because 99 when it was going on, I was dating someone who worked at the Cellar. So I was mostly at the Cellar at the time. I would bounce to Boston once in a while, but I wasn't over there like as much as I was in the early 90s. Anyway, so I still remember her, and I remember being like her suit being, I thought she was Gina Savage's, Gina Savage was a manager at the time. She's been like, she worked at Caroline's West Side. She worked for Barry for a while. She's been around for a long time. Anyway, so I thought she was like Gina's niece or something, because she was just hanging around Gina, and I was like, I remember being super young looking. So anyway, she accused Jeff Ross of this, and Amy Schumer and fucking Whitney Cummings haven't said shit about this. So it's like since they're friends with Jeff Ross, they believe Jeff Ross and not this woman who's coming forward saying they had a sexual relationship when Jeff Ross was 33 and she was 15. So it's such a fucking joke. And this is how everybody gets away with it, because the girl who's doing it, she's not a girl now, but she's basically saying, this happened to me, but everyone's like, did it? Because, there's not more people. So then it's like him against her word against her word. Maybe she's being vindictive. But, the fact of the matter is, and that's why Jeff Ross probably steals jokes, because I've heard from reliable sources that he like basically steals jokes off of open micers.
Didn't Bonnie McFarlane say that? Didn't Bonnie say he's a thief, joke thief?
Maybe. And then what are they going to do? What is the open micer going to do? Open micer's going to accuse Jeff Ross. Open micer can't even get a platform to say fucking word. Just like this woman, whether she's lying or not, I don't think she's lying, because the details are all too accurate. And she wrote it for a story for when she was at the New School in New York. It was nonfiction, so it's a little looks like, oh, did she make up the story? I doubt it. I fucking doubt it, because Jeff Ross always dated young women. Even now, he still brings young whores, and I ask Cattell, who's that? He goes, probably a hooker. So anyway, so the point is, the Amy Schumer and fucking Whitney Cummings and all these cunts, they all say, oh, we're there for you. Like the silence no more. We hear you. So this woman's saying like she's going on Facebook. She's going on Twitter. It's getting out. But nobody who's friends with Jeff Ross is saying like,
Right.
I believe you, girlfriend, because they still believe the famous guy over the fucking girl that he fucked over. And that's how Cosby did it for years. That's how everybody does. Because who are you going to believe? Bill Cosby or some fucking whore? So unless there's a bunch of them who are saying Bill Cosby did this or Jeff Delia did this or Harvey Weinstein did this, you're kind of fucked. It's like, unless I know the Facebook post she put out, I read it, and now she's trying to get other people to like this happen.
Evan, end this with a dice. Oh,
it's definitely getting traction on Twitter. But again, Jeff Ross is basically protected because he's got a lot of friends. He's been around a long time. He's made a lot of friends. He's Jewish. I was thinking today on my bike ride, imagine if Jeff Ross was Arab and there was accusations that he fucked a 30, when he was 33, he fucked a 15-year-old New York co-ed. Like everyone would be like, run him out of the business, get him his fucking food truck and get him the fuck out of the business. But it's like, but Jeff Ross is so protected that people are like, he's friends with Jimmy Kimmel and, his real name's Liv Schultz. So, he's trying to hide his Jewishness, but everybody knows he's a Jew. Everybody knows because it's like wink, wink, nod, nod.
Dice.
Ross flash. Huh?
Do the dice. When you're done.
I don't want to be anti-Semitic, but I'm just saying like it always strikes me as like a factor when fucking Opie and Anthony got fired for basically nothing compared to what Howard Stern did last week with the 5 N-words and the blackface. Nobody said a fucking word. So I'm like, it's almost like when I first moved to New York and when they would have Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur and everybody would be gone. The subways would be empty. I'm like, there's that many Jews in New York? Like I was always mystified. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So it's almost like the opposite now where the Jews are so powerful and you're like, you don't even get it until Jews don't get into trouble in showbiz where you're like, well, Howard Stern didn't get into any trouble? No trouble. Opie got fired for filming Roland taking a shit, and Cumia got fired from shit he did, not even for tweets. So it's like, so I know Howard Stern basically made Serious Ally, but the fucking double standard for like, that Jeff Ross probably didn't do it because he's the roast master. And, but everybody knows who knows Jeff Ross, knows that he dates young. He probably did it where there's smoke, there's fire. Like somebody sent me a DM. They go, you think Jeff Ross did it? I go, well, these women are never wrong. When was the time they accused the guy and it turned out to be false accusations? Like I'm talking about in show business recently. There's not been a case where they accused guy, even if there was like whispers like Kevin Spacey or Harvey Weinstein, it always ended up being true. So to think like, oh, she's probably lying. Where's Whitney Cummings and Amy Schumer with this shit? Where are they with the Jeff Ross shit?
You want me to give out Whitney's phone number?
I would love it. I'll PayPal you $125.
No, it is true though, because like when all the shit on the more political side of things, when all the shit came up with Joe Biden, it was like all the people that were his supporters, is like they didn't really go after him because they're like, well, he's our guy. So it's very arbitrary who people are kind of like going after, depending on what they can gain from this. I mean, like they probably got a lot from Jeff Ross. Like he probably did a lot for their career. So it's like, yeah, we'll just kind of like, he doesn't count.
Unless it's a groundswell. They don't. They
exactly.
Act they act like unless it's a groundswell, they act like they didn't hear it. They didn't hear it.
Right.
They didn't see it.
Yeah,
but
it really has. It has to really do with like the momentum almost of like fucking things like Twitter and shit.
They're both said in their tweets like silence no more. Like I'm here for you. So it's like she's not being silent.
As long as it's not their guy. Like as long as it's not like
she's being quote unquote brave by coming out, by outing Jeff Ross. And they're like, they'll just say, oh, we didn't hear about it. Just like we didn't know about Chris D'Elia. There's all these videos of Chris D'Elia everyone underage women. And Jeff Ross has never dated a woman close to his age. So again, I'm not saying, I'm just saying the double standard is ridiculous that they're like, hey, girls, don't be silent, be brave. And then when a girl actually does this, she's like, people don't even believe her. So it's like, why would you come forward? Why the fuck would you come forward? That's why you got to be with a guy who's a serial predator. Because otherwise, if it's just you or maybe one or two other people, like Jeff Ross might have learned his lesson with her. Be like, hey, you know I believed her because she said when she turned 18, Jeff Ross had no interest in her anymore. Once it was legal, she had no interest in it. He had no interest anymore. So Jeff Ross might have learned his lesson. Hey, maybe I shouldn't fuck around with this because that was kind of a close call. You know, sometimes you do something where you're like, do I really want to do this? You know, you do it once, you're like, that was too close for comfort.